Sam, Chief Risk Officer at altbanq, sitting here with Henry from Hansa, the CEO. Excited to have you here with us today.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Sam. We're very excited to be here. Why don't we kick things off? Tell us a little bit about altbanq.
Absolutely. So altbanq is a company. What we do is we empower businesses with all the essential financial products and services that they might need, right? So I would take that and split that into two separate categories for us right now. So we have altbanq lending, which is primarily our term loan products. That's where business owners can apply to us and get the actual business financing they need in order to grow and expand their business. And then on the other side of that, we also have altbanq payments, which focuses on merchant processing services, or as other people call it, credit card processing services. So we're pretty much like a one-stop shop for anything that you might need for your business to expand and grow. You'd be reaching out to us. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Hansa, why you're here, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, appreciate it. We started Hansa to help business owners get access to the financial products that they need to help their businesses. And our focus as a component of that is helping commercial lenders like altbanq report their borrowers' loan payments to the business credit bureaus. Doing so helps their borrowers build business credit histories so that when they go and they apply for financial products in the future, whatever future lender that they're talking to knows their history of making their payments and paying off their loans on time. And also helps the lenders, because in an ecosystem where lenders are reporting their borrowers' loan payments across the board, it gives access to better data to make lending decisions when a lender is going and making an underwriting decision about a potential borrower. Curious to hear from you, kind of like let's dive in. What are Hansa and altbanq working on together?
So I think the main thing that we're working on right now is obviously, as you know, is reporting these actual payments from our borrowers to the credit bureaus, right? So I won't get into too much of the credit bureaus. That's your forte. I'll let you focus on that. But basically, anytime that a borrower makes a payment to altbanq, we take that information, we send it over to Hansa, and they can then go ahead and report that to the actual credit bureaus. So in a sense that these borrowers of ours are getting actual credit for the payments that they're making on time, right? Our goal with all of this is to help them actually build that business credit history, right? So segueing into that, tell us a little bit more about business credit and why it's important.
Absolutely. Yeah. So business credit is exactly what it sounds like. It encompasses the payment history, the actual credit scores, and the identity of what a business is. So similar to you and I as consumers, right? We have our credit scores with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Those scores are merged together and create our FICO scores. And ultimately, when we go and apply for any sort of financial product, that information is used by lenders to make a decision about you or I based on that credit profile that exists, that is unique to us.
Right.
Very similarly, business has that unique credit profile that is used to make lending decisions, whether it be from a term loan lender or a credit card issuer, or even a vendor who's making decisions on how much money they're willing to issue in trade credit to one of their customers and what payment terms they might give on that.
Got it. So I heard you mention a little bit about how we currently have our personal credit, how that works. So I think there's a big misconception between what's personal credit, what's business credit, how it differs, and how it kind of interacts with each other.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit of background. What's personal credit and what's the difference, and how is it separate from the business credit side?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So business credit exists as a distinct entity aside from personal credit. Now, while sometimes business owners are afraid of, hey, how will this business loan affect my personal credit, things like that. Really, the main focus that we work on at Hansa is on that business credit side, because it is distinct, and we are focused on helping business owners build that. Structurally, the main difference between business credit and consumer credit really starts at the regulatory level. There is a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, commonly known as the FCRA, that really governs how consumer credit information is aggregated, reported, and stored, and then ultimately accessed by consumers. Okay. So, you and I as consumers, it's very easy for us to go and see our personal credit scores. Most of our banking apps actually just have it right there for us for free. That is a right that is guaranteed by the government to us as consumers. Right. We have a right to see our personal credit information. The Fair Credit Reporting Act also governs how lenders have to treat consumers when they're making decisions. An example being, lenders are required to tell a potential borrower if they reject them for a loan, why they rejected them. So it gives the borrowers, it empowers them with that information that they can then use and go and kind of factor into who they're applying to and what types of products they're applying to. Because none of these regulations exist for business owners, it has created an environment where it really is very difficult for business owners to know what types of financial products that they might qualify for and that they should go apply for. And because it's so opaque, business owners either end up not being able to find financial products that best suit them, or they end up taking financial products that they get approved for, but they might have been able to get a better offer somewhere else. They don't go because they don't know. It's really a consequence of the fact that there's no regulation, and the prevalence is low.
Got it. So talking a little bit more about the credit landscape right now, specifically on the business side, right? So I know you mentioned that obviously right now I can go pull my personal credit. I know exactly what's going on, what my trade lines look like, et cetera.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like that really exists for the business side, which is where I think Hansa kind of comes in as well. So how do you go about getting that reports? And just in general, what are your thoughts on the current business credit landscape?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd say that the number one thing to focus on there is just prevalence of reporting. Most lenders in the commercial space do not report their borrowers' loan payments to the commercial credit bureaus. So on the commercial side, the credit bureaus are Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet.
Okay.
These three entities exist for lenders, whether they be term loan lenders or credit card companies or trade credit issuers, aka vendors. The bureaus exist for those parties to report their borrowers' payments to those bureaus. Unfortunately, most of the parties do not actually report to the credit bureau, and consequently, it's very difficult for business owners to build credit histories because the financial institutions that they are interacting with, that they're borrowing capital from, those financial institutions are more than likely not reporting their payments to those bureaus, and so that business then is not building any credit history. So if you go and you take out a loan from lender A and you pay that loan off on time, you're a perfect borrower. 5 years later, you go to lender B and you apply for a loan. Lender B most likely will have no knowledge that you had that loan from lender A, that you paid it off on time, and that you're a good actor. Whereas on the consumer side, we basically know with 100% confidence, whatever I do with my financial providers is going to be reported to the bureaus, and it's going to affect my future access to capital. So that's really kind of the main thing. I would say, on the second point you made of just accessing it, right? We as consumers, it's very easy for us to see our credit scores. Very difficult in the business space. Business owners are not guaranteed any right to be able to see their business credit scores. We here at Hansa are really focused on not just building the tools for the lenders to report, but also providing the tools for business owners to be able to see what data is being reported about them, understand their business credit profiles, and then ultimately kind of track and build them over time by partnering with and taking capital from lenders like altbanq who are reporting.
Got it. So it sounds like you guys will give these borrowers the ability, like once they have these accounts created, to actually go in and see these reports from your guys' website.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Absolutely. So tell me, what made altbanq want to work with Hansa on credit reporting?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you know, we've kind of been trying to approach this project in the correct way for quite some time. It was very important for us to find the right partner, right? We didn't just want to do this with anyone. So I think the fact that Hansa and altbanq's goals are so aligned with each other, that was the most important decision in deciding to work with you guys, right? For us, it was we wanted someone who wasn't just going to take these data points that we're giving to them and then pass it along to the credit bureaus and kind of call it a day. The fact that you guys are always kind of taking that extra step, making sure you're also trying to improve these business owners' plans or how they grow, what their trajectory looks like, was very important to us. So basically what happens is once we actually give you that information, you guys go ahead and report it. Number one thing I always notice with you guys is that accuracy is very important for you. So I've noticed that you guys make sure that what's being reported is actually accurate. So we have situations like you mentioned earlier that some of these credit bureaus are matching things to business owners that it's not really related to them. So making sure that you guys are putting the right information on there was very important as well. I think the fact that you guys also care about the longevity of these business owners' plans and what they envision for themselves is very important, right? One of the ways that you guys manage to do that is if there's ever a situation where there's a mispayment, what Hansa will do is reach out to the actual business owner via email and let them know, hey, there's been a mispayment. If you guys need to catch up, just reach out to altbanq, make sure that gets taken care of so it doesn't affect their credit in any way. You want to make sure that their credit obviously grows in the correct way as opposed to being affected in any other way, right? So I think those are the few of the very important things. Another one too is I've gotten a chance to take a look at the portal you guys built out for business owners. So kind of seeing how all that kind of ties into not just passing along that data, but tools and resources you guys have available to them is awesome, because we have the same thing here as well. We make sure that our portal is up to date. We're trying to make sure that we have resources for the business owners as well so that they can access that. And the fact that you guys make that an easy process for them is something that aligns with us very much so as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No, those are kind of the main things that we really love about you and about altbanq. We really started Hansa to help empower business owners to understand and build their business credit histories, their business credit profiles. And so, the fact that that's, that mission alignment with altbanq, it really matters a lot to us, and is why we are very excited to be working with you on this. In terms of kind of like how you think about what you are hoping to achieve for your borrowers, you mentioned, we want them to help build business credit histories. Right. Are there other things kind of that factor in there?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, I think this whole reporting the business credit is going to be very important because it's not just reporting it for them, right? In other ways, it can affect. You actually also mentioned this as well, but when they get terms with their vendors or business credit cards that they can apply for, all that information is now going to be a little bit different for them because all these business owners sometimes get an opportunity to take on a new project, take on a new venture that could really take their business to that next level. And using Hansa and being able to report our loans on it might open those trade lines for them and might give them the ability to take on that project that they might not have been able to do before. So I think tying in that it's a much bigger picture than just simply reporting that data, I think that's the most important thing. We want to make sure we're giving them the tools that they need to really succeed.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we completely agree. My hope is that when we're working with a partner like altbanq, we're not just helping you report a business's loans for this specific loan, but we're helping them build credit history so that you can work with them on the next financial product that they apply for with you, and the one after that down the line, and really focusing on building that. You use the word longevity. I really like that, that way of phrasing it, kind of like building that long-term relationship. So tell me, as you guys think about technology in your business as a lender, obviously we're partnering with you on the credit reporting side of things. What are the other areas of your business that you're incorporating technology, and kind of what types of technologies do you think are necessary now and potentially in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, being tech driven is very important for us. I think that's one of the reasons also that our goals aligned as well, because I know that you guys value that just as much as we do. So besides just the credit reporting side of it, we do have other companies that we utilize with as well. The two that come right to the top of my head is Oculus and Plaid. So Oculus is pretty much just OCR technology. They help us ingest all of this financial information that we get from borrowers in order to make sure that we're kind of processing it in a timely manner and we're getting a response back to our actual business owners as quickly as possible. Plaid does a little bit of a similar thing, but what it does is it gives us a much bigger picture of what their financial data currently looks like. It gives us an ability to see, what's coming in, what's going out, where the business currently is, and hopefully where it's going to be heading with our assistance, right? So both of these, what the main purpose of it is that they help us ease the whole process for the borrower, right? A business owner has so many tasks they juggle on a daily basis, whether it's dealing with employees, dealing with contracts, dealing with vendors, whatever it is. So they have a lot on their plate that they don't necessarily have the time to also spend a lot of time applying for business financing, right? Yeah. So for us, whether it's on the business financing side or on the credit card processing side, we want to make sure that we're making the process as simple and as easy as possible, right? So once we utilize these tools, they'll help us make the process even quicker, get answers back to our borrowers, and hopefully get the capital they need so they don't ever have to miss out on an opportunity that is presented with them at that specific time.
Yeah.
So kind of going back to what we were talking about, that's obviously some aspects of technology, but business ecosystem right now, right? How does Hansa play more of a role in it? How do you see that being impacted? How do you see that changing?
Yeah, absolutely. So, our mission is to make business credit reporting more widespread. Right. As I mentioned earlier, right, today, most lenders, whether it be a vendor or a term loan lender or credit card company, most are not reporting their borrowers' business credit payments to the business credit bureaus. Right. We are focused on changing that. The future as we see it is one in which business owners can, walk into any lender or any supplier and know that whatever activity that they have with that provider, paying off their loan, delinquency, whatever it might be, that their activity is going to be reported to the bureaus to help them build business credit histories. This under-reporting that is kind of the standard today really hurts everyone. It hurts both the borrowers and the lenders. The borrowers are walking in, they don't have credit histories because their financial activity has not been codified, hasn't been reported and kind of built that profile for their business. So they are applying basically blindly. On the other side, lenders are being forced to make decisions off less data because, the example I used before of, the lender who doesn't know that the business owner already had a business loan that they paid off perfectly and they were a perfect borrower, that lender is making a decision without that information. Right. And so it really is hurting everyone. And, we like to use the saying internally that, a credit ecosystem is like rising tides raise all ships, right? When reporting becomes standardized, like we take for granted on the consumer side, it helps good actors, good borrowers, because they get to have the history of being on-time payers and build that credit history, and it helps the lenders. So the future for us is reporting small business and all commercial kind of loan payment data becomes standardized and helps kind of everyone in the ecosystem. What about you guys? What does altbanq have in store for the future?
We've always had kind of a grand vision, and we still do at this time. So I would kind of break it up into a few different categories, right? First, we want to take what we currently offer through altbanq lending, our term loan product, and kind of expand that, right? We want to offer more financial solutions so that if a borrower needs something, they know that they can reach out to altbanq and get those services, whether it's different products, anything along those lines. So we're kind of working internally on building out those other products. The other thing also focuses more on the payment side of it. So we have two products that are currently actually live right now, and we're getting great reviews from all of our borrowers who are reaching out about it. So there's altbanq Zero and there's altbanq Float. Yeah. So altbanq Zero, I would say, is one of the more exciting ones because I don't think a product like that exists at all right now. It's basically we're able to provide an interest-free loan based on business owners who use merchant service processes through us. So it's a very cool product. We're very excited to have launched it, and anyone that's interested should definitely be reaching out to us about it. And then on the other side, we also have altbanq Float. So there's situations that happen, this again, specifically for people who process with us, but they might have processed a payment and it might have gotten held up for numerous different reasons. They might have been expecting that payment to come through, so they can use it for cash flow, they can use it for a new expense, whatever it might be. So what altbanq will do is, because we're so customer focused, and we'll actually offer them to float or basically provide that capital until it's released by the company in order for them to actually utilize it. So both those products kind of like show where we want to go in that merchant processing space, and we're very excited about both of them.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I'll put another plug in for altbanq Zero. It really is one of the most like innovative and unique financial products I've seen out there. Everyone out there who listens to this should check it out because it's a really, really cool product.
We're excited for it for sure. And separately that too, like I think the most important thing is that we're not just creating these financial products, we're also creating a whole knowledge base for our business owners as well. Basically meaning that, instead of just reaching out to us for a financial product, they can reach out to us and read our blogs, read our case studies, read kind of any information we provide. It's important for us to also follow up with our business owners, make sure that first of all, the process that we're offering is the most efficient one that it is, and getting their feedback about it. So they might be in a situation that other borrowers are in as well that they don't really know about, but utilizing our knowledge base, we could hopefully help out these business owners kind of make sure they're making the right decision and growing and expanding their business. I think that's the most important thing. And then lastly, I would say, we talked about it before in a little bit more in length, but our technology, right? That's why we're so excited to work with Hansa, what you guys are going to bring to the table. And we're always kind of looking to kind of grow and expand with that as well.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, one of the main reasons why we really enjoy working with you guys is how, tech forward, but also the thought leadership that you guys think about. You want to empower business owners with knowledge and information, but you also are really focused on kind of drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is the future. We want to be in the forefront of it and really kind of driving forward the ecosystem as a whole. And so really appreciate the time. It was great chatting with you today, and really excited for what we continue to build together.
Same, absolutely. We can't wait to see where the future takes us.
All right. Thanks, Sam.
Awesome.